The stench of decay permeated the dimly lit cell, and Private Marcus Reynolds, once a proud Brotherhood of Steel soldier, lay restrained and powerless. The cold metal table beneath him served as a cruel reminder of his captivity by the Enclave. The flickering light barely illuminated the horrors that surrounded him in this God-forsaken Enclave bunker. Marcus could feel his body mutating, every fiber of his being distorted by the new strain of forced evolutionary virus, FEV, coursing through his veins. His limbs twisted grotesquely, a macabre dance orchestrated by the Enclave scientists who regarded him as nothing more than a subject for their experiments. He was still conscious, his mind a captive witness to the monstrous transformation. The rhythmic echoes of patriotic tunes emanated from Enclave iBots that hovered ominously around the chamber, their speakers blaring distorted renditions of pre-war songs. The juxtaposition of patriotic melodies and the abomination Marcus had become twisted his sense of reality. He yearned for the embrace of death, an escape from the waking nightmare that had become his existence. As the Enclave scientists continued their sinister work, Marcus could see the Hellfire troopers standing nearby, their flamethrowers at the ready. Their cold, emotionless masks concealed any sense of humanity. They were the wardens of this macabre prison, ready to erase any trace of their unsanctioned experiment. The screams of other test subjects echoed through the bunker, their tortured voices blending with the dissonant music. Marcus, unable to scream or resist, could only watch in horror as his mutated form was subjected to vivisection. The Enclave scientists worked with clinical detachment, dissecting and analyzing the grotesque results of their experiments. Marcus narrated his own horror story internally, a silent scream resonating within the confines of his mutated mind. He yearned for release, for the flames of the Hellfire troopers to engulf him and end this nightmare. The Enclave's disregard for human life, their pursuit of power at any cost, had reduced him to a mere specimen in their quest for dominance. The moment arrived as the Hellfire troopers stepped forward, flames dancing at the tips of their weapons. Marcus could feel the searing heat approaching, a cruel finality to his tortured existence. The flamethrowers roared to life, and as the flames engulfed his mutated form, Marcus remained conscious, the pain beyond comprehension. His internal screams drowned in the crackling of the flames as the Hellfire troopers executed their duty. In the dying embers of his consciousness, Marcus reflected on the irony of being consumed by the very flames of patriotism that had once fueled his allegiance to the Brotherhood of Steel. The Enclave had turned him into a living nightmare, a cautionary tale etched in the annals of horror within their clandestine bunkers. In the sterile, cold confines of the Enclave's secret research facility, a sense of clinical efficiency permeated the air. The pale glow of overhead lights cast a harsh illumination on a series of containment chambers lining the pristine corridor. Each chamber housed a failed experiment. The failed subjects, grotesque mutations of what were once human beings, lay motionless within transparent tanks. These were the remnants of ambitious but flawed attempts to harness the power of FEV for the Enclave's purposes. Biohazard signs adorned the chamber doors, a stark warning of the danger within. A team of Enclave scientists clad in pristine white lab coats and face-concealing masks moved with calculated precision. Their indifferent demeanor betrayed no hint of empathy as they prepared to dispose of the genetic aberrations haunting the containment chambers. The lead scientist, Dr. Victoria Hale, approached the central console with an air of authority. Her gloved hands manipulated the controls, initiating a sequence that would flood each chamber with a lethal combination of chemicals. As the process began, the failed experiments twitched in a grotesque display of involuntary spasms. The containment chambers hissed and released a swirling mist, a toxic cocktail designed to neutralize the abominations within. Dr. Hale monitored the readings with clinical detachment, her expression betraying no remorse for the failed experiments. The failed subjects convulsed, their distorted forms writhing in the toxic mist, succumbing to the finality of their existence. The Enclave's commitment to perfection left no room for sentimentality. The failed experiments were viewed as mere casualties in the pursuit of scientific advancement and genetic superiority. The disposal process continued with cold efficiency, each containment chamber purged of its failed subject. In a final act of eradication, incinerators built into the chamber walls roared to life. The failed subjects, now lifeless, were consumed by searing flames, reducing them to ashes. The acrid scent of burning flesh mingled with the lingering chemical mist, a testament to the Enclave's ruthless determination to eliminate any trace of imperfection. As the incinerators ceased their infernal dance, the corridor returned to an eerie silence. Dr. Hale, her task completed, turned away from the now empty containment chambers without a second glance. The failed FEV experiments were erased, their existence expunged from the Enclave's records and from the collective conscience of those who served the Enclave's unwavering pursuit of genetic perfection. The sterile corridor stood as a witness to the Enclave's cold pragmatism, a reminder that failure was not an option in the relentless march towards dominance.